So today we'll talk about the 7 habits of highly successful people. But today I'm going to talk about habit 1, being proactive, and how this helps you become a more effective person in involving problems and situations, and how you can be more proactive and be more effective. First thing you want to do by being proactive when you get involved when you're encounter a problem or something, you don't want to just you have the problem and you just respond just automatically. You kind of want to, that's more of like reactive behavior. You don't want to let your mood or feelings or the circumstances influence your response. You kind of want to be a proactive response would be you have the problem, you take a moment to pause and respond, and you know that you have the freedom to choose your response. And that's proactive people take the time to respond and pause, and so they have the freedom to choose, and they don't let outside circumstances involve their solutions. And this is kind of goes along with kind of like if it's you wake up and it's raining outside, you're just automatically put in a bad mood, or you show up to the baseball field and the wind's blowing in, so Hatton's already pissed because no one's going to hit any home runs today. But you have to, you just don't let outside circumstances involve how that affects your day, and so on. One thing you want to do, you want to use proactive language. You don't want to say, I can't, I have to do this, I must do this. No, you don't have to do anything. You are free to choose whatever you want to do. Some proactive language would be, let's look at our alternatives. I control my own feelings. Like, I will choose an appropriate response, or I prefer. You don't have to do anything. Like, this is, everything you do, you have the freedom to choose. So don't feel like you ever have to do anything. And that's a more proactive response to things, rather than being reactive and letting outside circumstances involve what you want. And the main thing you want to do is you have 2 circles of, like, you have your circle of influence, which is pretty small, and then you have your circle of concern, which is a bit bigger. Now, proactive people, they focus all their time in the circle of influence. These are things that you can influence by your decisions. The circle of concern are things that you're concerned with, but not necessarily you can have anything to influence about. So if you're involving all your time in circle of concern, you're actually working kind of like negatively, and your circle of influence is getting smaller because it's things that you can attend to, you're not attending to. But if you proactive people focus on the circle of influence, because the more time you spend in the circle of influence, your circle of influence will gradually become bigger and bigger because you're working in a positive manner. And so the more time you focus on the circle of influence, you will have more things that you can influence. And then this goes back to just a story that in one of the videos we had about not letting outside circumstances involve your behavior. Is like, there's a story of this nurse. She has this patient, and he's always in a bad mood. He's always trying to get her to do this, do that, and like all the nurses, every time they work with him, they're always in a bad mood. They're always talking about him and how he just makes them feel miserable because he's miserable, so they're all miserable. Well, one nurse, she finally decides that this guy is actually controlling her emotions. Like, she's letting this guy control her emotions by him being miserable is making her miserable. So she decides one day that, no matter what this guy's mood's going to be in, I can still be in a good mood even if he's in a bad mood. So that's like, you want to kind of carry your own weather again, just saying you don't want to let these other people or circumstances affect the way you go throughout the day. And so, in conclusion, three main things to be proactive is to take the time to pause and respond when you come with a situation. Don't react on in the circumstances, and you want to use proactive language and focus mainly your time on circle of influence and try to get that circle of influence as great as possible.